Well, hello. Good afternoon on this lovely sunny Friday afternoon from the UK.
Hello, Smudgy.
Oh, God. Good
Oh,
God.
Perfect.
What? I'm just trying to speak your language.
Right,
Trying
I'll
to
tell you
relate
now,
to you.
the next episode, I am coming on and, well, I'm going to learn the Boston accent and I'm going to rip it apart. That's what I'm going
Let's
to do.
hear it. I can't wait.
Like Smudgy, that's what we want. That's
Right?
what we want to hear
But
from you.
I have British ancestry, okay? We have a royal family. We have history. You guys don't have any history over there in that they're United States of the Americas,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Welcome,
none.
everybody, to an episode of QuinnCast Hit the Spotlight.
Is it? Oh, I thought we were going to do Hamilton or something. Oh, yeah, it is.
Oh.
And who's hitting the spot today, ladies?
He is hitting my spot because we have Vel's library waiting for us right now in the QuinnCast studio.
Is his
Woohoo. Yeah,
Christian name
Val.
Vel and his surname Library?
Smudge, exactly. How did you know?
Oh,
Ladies, please. Val is in the waiting room.
is he?
He's been
Is he
very
here
patient.
already? Oh, bloody
Yes.
hell.
Very good.
Fine.
I need to put some pants on.
No, you don't. Why? For the
Yeah, I
first
know.
time
Why
ever,
change
would
a
you
habit?
put pants on
Why
while
change the
recording?
habit of a lifetime?
It's been working for 7 or 8 months.
Listeners, can you tell we are excited to welcome Vel into our studio?
Welcome, Val. Welcome to QuinnCast. It's so lovely to have you here.
Happy to be here.
So Val is a spicy audio creator on Reddit,
Mhm.
Patreon, and Quinn. He's a cat father. Hell yeah, love the cats. And gym enthusiast.
Yes, very much so.
Are we interrupting biceps or quads? Is it leg day or upper body day today?
Upper body today, but not till later.
Is it ever leg day, Val? Is it?
Yes, surprisingly so.
I was gonna
Probably
say-
less than I should, but yeah.
I'm like, I just saw him recently post somewhere like cursing leg day. I'm like, he does leg day.
Yeah. It's no one's favorite, but
No.
No,
Why?
like, well, because 2 days later after leg day, you realize you can't walk. So
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
7-day delay.
it also
Yeah.
feels silly hurting that bad for a job where you don't show your face, but it's
Well,
a necessary sacrifice.
yeah.
I get it. Actually, Val, so word on the street, and the street being your Discord, is that you do at some point in the future plan on becoming non-anonymous. Is that true?
Yeah, that's the goal. I
Okay,
don't
cool.
have an immediate plan for that right now. It definitely is something that I would say, planning around. I mean, I don't want to just, show up one day with a face cam on and kind of
Right.
ruin the momentum. It'll be a reveal. It'll be a whole thing when I do it, but it
Oh,
will be a
fun.
thing that happens. I probably would have done it from the very beginning had I been like a Twitch content creator or a YouTuber or something.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to showing my face, but this industry has so much bias around it in your everyday life, and no one starts off as a full-time content creator in the porn world. So I, of course, had a job when I started doing this, and I didn't want to be the guy where someone comes in and goes, "Hey, I know you from somewhere." So,
Yep.
so until I was full-time, I knew I was going to be anonymous, but I've been full-time for coming up on a year now. It was a taper off for sure, but it's been about a year, and I think I'll try to make an event out of it.
Do not waste that opportunity. I mean,
Yeah.
I see the reactions in your Discord from a picture of your arm. I can't
Yeah,
imagine
that's
when people like see
You
the whole
mean your
back.
own reaction as well? Because we've seen your reaction, Kaza.
it.
Settle down.
Colin has it out.
Not while he's in the room.
Right, Vel, we like to play a little game with our guests just to warm everybody
Okay.
up. Warm everybody up. It's fucking 110 degrees in my room. So the game that we'd like your consent to play with you today, Vel, is a game called Spit or Swallow.
Okay.
So we understood that you're a bit of a wine connoisseur.
Yes, I am.
So we thought we'd get into the spirit of that to warm us
Okay.
up. So we're going to read you brand names of wine.
Okay.
And you have to tell us if it's real or not by saying swallow if it's real and spit if it's not. And you can do a sound out. You can go if you want to.
I don't know if it'll come through, but I'll try.
No, please don't. Just say spit or
So
swallow.
do we have? You're such a spoil sport. Do we have your consent, Vel?
Yes, you have my consent.
Okay, great.
Fabulous. Okay, here we go.
Okay, number 1. Penetration. Spit or swallow?
Oh my. It's almost 2 on the nose. I'm gonna oh, hey, you're starting off hard. I suppose that's the industry.
Careful.
Careful.
I'm gonna say spit. I think it's 2 on the nose. Wow.
Swallow.
Wow.
It's a Cabernet Sauvignon.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
of
like we all
course it is.
go into our local and say, "Could I have a
Okay.
medium glass of
Yes.
penetration, please?"
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
please.
unhinged.
Do you want
Give me a
to
large
screen
pour.
for the 9 ounces, actually?
Okay.
It's the only size it comes in.
All right. Ready for the next one?
Yes.
All right. Dirty bitch.
Okay, I see a direction we're going within these. All right. That sounds like it's from Australia. I'm gonna say swallow. They really go wild with it.
And so it is
Yeah.
not actually a wine. The wine is actually called Sassy Bitch.
Okay.
Phil, Phil, if you thought this was going to be an actual game based on your intellectual knowledge of wine,
No. I think I would
Definitely
do
not.
worse at that.
very mistaken. Right, here we go. Here's number 3, Val. Kindly swallows. Is that spit or swallow?
Oh my God. I'm gonna say swallow because it is a bird.
Ding, ding, ding.
I do like the way you're going, and that was absolutely correct. Although, like, yeah, it is a wine and only a wine. I thought I'd put all of what it was, but I think that's a Merlot. But I'm just, don't quote me on it. But yeah, I think it's a Merlot. Yes,
Wine
you
people
put-
love animals.
It's a Merlot. Quick little funny aside, when my wife was a bartender for functions, a guy came up, it was so loud in there, a guy came up and he just went, Merlot. And she went, hello.
Yeah.
And he's like, hello, Merlot. Anyway, number 4. Cork tease. Spit or swallow?
Oh, it's got to be real. That's got to be a swallow. And if it's not, I'll start it.
Then you got a new business on your hands, Vel, because it's not
Wow.
a wine.
That's shocking to me.
That's a good one. I mean, come
That's
on.
can you
That
can
is
you
a good
imagine
one.
being in the liquor store and seeing that? I would buy it immediately. It's such a
Yeah.
great hook for a wine. Come on.
You can take that,
Yeah.
Vel. You can take it. You don't have enough going on in your life.
Yeah, I've got way too much free time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't release enough, I've been told.
No, not at all.
Next one is chill the fuck out.
Oh, real. The word
Okay.
chill in wine has got to be real.
Definitely good in this business. Very, very nice. Yes, it's a lovely white wine.
Yeah, I can see it. I can
I
see
don't
it
know
on
why.
the
I don't know why I get this one to say out. I think you worked this one out between the two of you before I even arrived.
shelf.
Okay, here we go, Val. Big bush.
Big bush.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep.
Swallow. I think that's real.
Oh no, it's a spit. We spit on the
Wow.
bush. We spit on the bush.
That should have been a clue.
It's not a wine. The wine itself is actually called a Big Bertha, and not a big bush. But
Wasted opportunity.
it is again. I think we're
Well,
going to
write all
really
these down. Write all these down.
Yeah, absolutely. Take
That's
them.
true.
Take them. All right, you got 2 more.
Okay, I'm prepared.
This one is called.
That's a good sign.
Okay. Now it's okay. So I'm gonna build it up now. It's gonna fall flat. Just the tipple. There we go.
Just the tipple?
tipple.
Oh,
Love
hell.
that.
Just the tipple.
For when you just want to taste.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
put the tipple in. Just put the tipple in.
Oh my God. It's almost. I see the first time I said it was too much. I was wrong.
Spit
Um,
or swallow?
I'm gonna say swallow.
Oh, I wish it's a spit.
Wow, should have trusted it.
So, and if anybody's listening to this and see on the shelves in my local supermarket in the next few months a bottle of wine that's called Just the Tipple, I'm suing you. Just saying.
Yeah, it's intellectual property.
These are just brilliant names for wine. These are brilliant names for
Right?
wine. I'm sorry. Like, now I want to start a store selling exclusive expletive. Like, anyway. All right. Last one, Vel, is well hung vineyards.
Oh, yeah, real.
Yep.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
got
Yep.
it.
for sure, real.
Oh, Val, you came good at the end. Careful.
Careful.
That is the goal.
That's it. Yes. Fabulous.
Even
Thank
if
you
you
for
don't start a wine label, Val, I mean, I can see some like audios with like cork teas. Like you could have a whole wine
Oh, I'm
script.
so worried about mixing those two worlds.
Oh, okay.
It's
Fair.
the side that I was on is just so unsexy comparative to what people think of when they get into the idea of a wine guy. It's just so
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
different.
What side were you on?
I did the restaurant business, but when you get really into it, it's so much more about like how business works.
Yeah.
Got
I-
it. Okay.
Bit
To be
like
fair, I don't
admin.
really care. I don't care what's on the label. I just drink it. Really, I'm not a
Very fair.
connoisseur.
Val, this is you asked for it, Smudge. Val, as a wine guy, can you
Hmm.
give me your unbiased opinion? No comments from the peanut gallery, fuckers. Zip it. White Zinfandel, yay or nay?
Okay. So White Zinfandel doesn't really exist, is the first part of this.
What?
Um, White Zinfandel is just mostly colored and flavored of a different type of wine.
Oh,
But if you like it, then it's good. I would just say be careful who you buy it from because different people make it different ways. That's the only thing I
okay.
would say to the negative of it.
Okay.
I think maybe
Yes.
50 years ago, people were making it correctly. I don't know that I've had one in my entire career.
Thank you, Val. Why would you?
Uh, well, first off, him saying that he hasn't had one in his whole career doesn't mean to say that it's cat piss, right? Which is
No,
what you're.
I haven't had a real the thing White Zinfandel is based off of
Yeah.
exists. It is a
Okay.
real
Oh,
thing that you could make, but I don't think anyone really makes it anymore. What we see White
oh,
Zinfandel now, I've had plenty of. Some
okay.
good, some of the worst wines I've ever had, but some good.
See, just saying, it's not a child's drink. Thank you. They
That's what
might.
I tease her with. I'm
Well,
like, okay, white Zin is like what you start drinking when you drink wine. So like that's when you're 16, 17, 18. Then you graduate to Pinot Grigio. Then you go up to Chardonnay. Then you go to like Sauvignon Blanc or like a Pinot Noir. Then maybe a Merlot and a Chablis.
It's the pipeline.
all right. I'm 16 at heart. That's all I'm saying. Right?
Okay,
Done. Right. How is everybody else? All right.
I'm good. Now I want to dive into the deep, dark caves of Vel.
Oh, yes, please. Let's do
It's a
it.
different content tier, but I'm working on it.
Ooh, I love that. Well, I mean, Vel, so let's jump from you being a wine connoisseur to, what inspired you to even become a voice actor in the first place in the audio erotica space? How did that all begin for you?
Sure. Um, I've always enjoyed kind of presentation. A big part of why I got into wine is you are just this public figure. If you are active and you're doing your job, you're shaking hands, meeting people, you're speaking in front of crowds and stages, and you really are like a persona in a way. So I was no stranger to that. And I've always really liked storytelling. I come from a really small town. You know, if it rained too hard, we would lose internet and TV for 2 weeks. Small town.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
so it was a lot of family time and a lot of interaction. And I grew up in a family of polyglots, so everyone spoke a million languages and everyone loved
Cool.
working with accents and stuff like that. So I kind of just grew up in an environment where I got good at storytelling and interacting and just participating. So when I got older, I was kind of getting out of the wine business. I did my decade and kind of wanted to step out and to do something else. I was just telling a story at a party after kind of participating in GWA for a year or two at the time, just as a listener and as a bystander. And I was talking at this party and just kind of doing the traditional, storytelling, big, braggadocious, loud thing that I like to do. And somebody commented very high and very drunk. She said, "I wish you narrated my smut books." And I was like, in my head, I'm like,
Oh.
it's so fucking funny that you are saying that out loud because I've been thinking about
Hmm.
that. I didn't tell her that, obviously. She was beyond gone. But I just, that her comment stuck with me for quite a while. And I was like, you know what? I'm sure there are voice actors for this like largest sector of literature out there that I've just not heard because I'm not the demographic. Like they're not making erotic audiobooks for men. That's not really a thing that
Right.
happens. So of course it's not getting marketed to me. So I did some research and I saw
Mhm.
that yeah, absolutely it's a thing. Um, and that's where the Vels Library thing came in, is I wanted to theoretically, when I got started, use GWA as a practice ground, be bad at it,
Mhm. Yep.
get my practice in, and then start applying for reels to maybe make that into like a part-time job, maybe just even a hobby where I make some extra cash. I
Mhm.
ended up finding a lot of success on Reddit relatively
Mm.
quickly. I didn't ever have like a big blow up moment. It's not like my second post got like 5,000 upvotes or whatever, like which does happen every
Mhm.
now and then. But you know,
Yeah.
500, 600 when you've never done it before is really good. And I just started to practice and practice and practice and practice. And for better or worse, when I find something that I like doing that I want to get better at, I do just do it until I'm good. I like the process of growth. I like the process of improvement. And just kind of jumped in head first. The whole audiobook thing kind of took the back seat as I realized that you could make a job out of just doing one-off audios that you didn't need to do uh, the whole audiobook presentation side of things unless you wanted to, which I still do, and I am working on projects like that. But you obviously have
Hmm.
to have a book to read and the contract to do it. You can't just go out there and narrate a book for fun.
Right.
But you can make any audio you want. You can, you know, take the scenarios and styles and take inspiration. I've read plenty and plenty of erotic literature as part of what I will generously call research. Um,
We know that.
yeah,
We
and
do that.
Oh yeah, got you.
it's been a good journey, I would say. I think so often in the space, success is instant for VAs. It's a lot of like
Mm.
overnight hit, or have you not heard this? You should absolutely hear this guy, and then boom,
Mm.
growth. I really never had a moment like that. I mean, I definitely had bigger periods of growth, but a lot of what I've done is just showing up every Monday. It's making sure my posts come out on time with, you know, maybe I'm 24 hours late. Today's post, in fact, might be, but usually it's for, you know, I'm trying to do something better or, you know, there was a, you know, I got into a car accident yesterday, not my fault, luckily, but it kind of
Oh,
derailed
Oh,
my evening. Um, it's,
technically.
I'm fine. But someone else ran a red light. It is what it is.
Oh,
Um,
Dick.
and sometimes that
Sorry.
can derail things, but it's just consistency.
Mm.
It's just getting out there and, you know, making sure that I'm putting out content for people who want to hear it. It's the whole
so
thing.
what was your first content, Val? What was the first thing you ever put out?
I filled a script on GWA. Um,
Mhm.
I don't remember the exact title, and I should, but I think it's like Ruined by Your Nice Boyfriend. It's so perfectly cliche. It was well written. It was generic enough. It didn't have too much kink. I felt like I could tackle it. Written by a pretty well-established person in the space. And it was good. I definitely can't listen to it because if I go back and hear my voice, my underdeveloped voice on my old microphone with my old editing standard, it makes me want to just take my ears off and never put them back on again. Uh, but it is good. Objectively, for a first attempt at something, it is good. I am happy with it. But if anyone hearing this decides to go back and listen to my very first thing, uh, it definitely is different than what I do now. So please don't judge me just by that.
Did you, when you I know you recently ranked all of the audios you've ever made
Yes, I did.
in your community, and I think there's like over 400, right?
Yeah, 459 as of or
Jesus
Jeez.
Christ.
460
Right?
today if I manage to
Jesus.
get the post out
Did
on
you ever
time.
see the daylight for a
I
few years?
Uh, for a while, no. For a while, I was working a full 50-hour work week and making Patreon content 3 times a
Jeez.
week, and that was hard. That was hard in a
Mm.
way that is hard to express, but I knew it would be hard. I knew that if I wanted to make it full time, I would need to just do both until I could you know, do the relay race, passing of the baton, and now I have, and
Mm-hmm.
I have a much better work-life balance. But I was in the content mines for about 6 months there.
Gee.
Yeah, God. So is that first script fill in that ranking list?
Yeah, I think I gave it like
Did
a
you?
C. I would have given it
Okay.
higher had anything else been good about it other than the script, because the script is quite good, but
Yeah.
my vocal technique wasn't really there. It was a little rush. You can hear my breaths throughout a lot of it because I just didn't know how to do breath processing. There's just
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things that I think, it'd be hard to be generous with it just because it is missing so much of what I do today. But it was good. I liked it. I think there are some of my earlier audios that I really, really like. Most of them once I bought a microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Because my first couple were just on an iPhone or on like a really cheap headset microphone.
Yep.
But once I knew that I was interested in doing it and wanted to do more of it, I put a lot more time and energy into it and bought a real mic. So I think from like the fourth or fifth audio onwards, it got a lot better.
Wow.
What was one of the first ones you made with the new mic that you're most proud of, that you really heard the
Uh,
difference and went, I'm good at this?
um, might have been the Bully series. It doesn't really have a
Mm-hmm.
name because I didn't do that back then. But I did a
Yep.
four-part series on bullies to lovers, kind of enemies romance stuff, and
Okay.
it was the first step into doing the long form content that I've become somewhat known for now, of doing like the four-part
Mm-hmm.
series. That's something I've
Yeah.
always wanted to do. It's kind of an homage to wanting to do audiobooks, is saying, hey, I can keep a character over 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 16 weeks, whatever the case is, and make something out of it. So
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just doing your best for it. And I mean, once you got kind of a little bit more established, you got your new mic and everything, you're getting a little bit of traction on Reddit. Did you start to have to really get into a certain type of mindset or a mood before you'd start recording? So things would just, you'd be really in the moment with it. And how do you kind of prepare for those scenes or the character that you're playing in your audios?
great question. Early on, yes, I did have to prepare a lot more than I do now. I, generally speaking, would watch porn, look at porn, read porn, whatever the case was, whatever I had time for. Early reading is my
Mm-hmm.
preferred medium. It always has been. But reading does take time. And when I was traveling, it'd be easy. I could be on a plane and I could be reading it on my phone. But, if you're working a 60, 70 hour work week, like I was for a lot of my career before I left wine, it's tough to sit down and be like, I'm just going to take 4 hours and read a book. It's a tough sell when you're not doing
Mm-hmm.
laundry, not, taking your car
Yeah.
in, not doing like chores that have to get done. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I would try to get into the spirit of things. For a while there, I thought that I always had to be 100% turned on and ready and as interested in recording as somebody would be in listening, in the same mental state as a listener, I guess I should say. Um,
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't think that's as true as I thought it was at the beginning. I do still come into it thinking, how are they perceiving it? What are they in the mindset for? But I'm able to much more easily nowadays step into the character and step into the environment than I was back then. I could not have done live recordings back then. I was definitely a lot sloppier with the content and the direction with things, and I would take a lot of time where I'd be maybe 50% of the way through an audio and think to myself, I don't love this, and it would impact the recording. Whereas nowadays, I think I'm able to kind of see where I'm going on the road before I get there and just kind of keep my
Hmm.
momentum going through a post. Back then, it was a lot harder to kind of pick myself up and get to the destination of something good. Um, I don't struggle with that so much these days. A lot of that is improv technique. I read a lot and practiced a lot of the techniques they use when they do live improv. Good performers all have their own rituals, of course, but there's kind of principles that guide them, and I do the same thing when I record.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like was you overly critical of yourself at the beginning then and not so much now? You said you went through a lots of training and like, but did you like, were like, oh God, I'm so fucking shit, I can't do this? Or did you just go, I
Uh,
can't do this, so I'm going to go out and train on this and learn this course? Or,
I would say it's 50-50 on a good day. Um,
Yep.
but there are definitely bad days, and it comes and goes. I don't, because of the backlog that I have and the fact that I don't release content in the exact order that I recorded in. I don't think it ever comes across in the content as like a wave where I'm down on myself or a wave where I'm up on myself. But
Oh,
anyone who listens to my content as it comes out can definitely see when there's like what I would call a fever pitch, where there's really good audio after really good audio after really good audio. And that's usually a good indicator of where I'm at as a performer and how I'm feeling about myself performing. Whereas when they're kind of spottier, hit or miss, sometimes those are where I'm maybe more down on myself or practicing something that I've not done before. That's another one that
oh,
can be difficult. I've probably deleted like 2 or 3 M for M audios back in the
Mhm.
day where it just didn't flow as well. And I was comparing my M for M content to my M for F content, which comes much more naturally. And I was being very critical of it, despite the fact that it's a different beast that I hadn't practiced, that I hadn't done anything. And I was actually talking to another creator who also does content for both men and women. And they basically told me, they were like, you need to think about it as different sports. Like you would never expect a professional football player to go out into a basketball court and put up a respectable game. Like you just would never expect that of them because that's not what they do,
yep.
even though they're both athletes. It's a different audience, it's a different environment, it's different acts, it's different performance. And I was like, that's a good way to put it. And now recently I've been doing more M for M content, more M sub content as well, which I also struggle with similarly. Just because I'm okay being a little worse at it these days.
That comes with confidence, right? You can be like, you can stretch yourself more when you're feeling more confident.
Exactly. Yeah. And then success breeds
Yeah.
success. When something does really well, I'm more likely to feel like I'm good at what I'm doing. And when I feel like I'm good at what I'm doing, I can translate
Yeah.
that to better work also. But
Mm.
So
Wow.
how did you make
Okay.
that transition then from, being on Reddit and all this time and experience you're putting into this? How did Quinn show up?
I applied, got tentatively accepted. You do an audio for them that doesn't ever get released technically. You can release it in the future, but the idea is you just do a full produced audio to kind of showcase what you do. They do their research on who you are, what you um, kind of are known for, what your audience is, what your shtick is, and then you do a little back and forth about what would be a good first post, what they think the audience wants, what they think there's a gap for in Quinn, and then you start making content and see if you're a fit for the platform or not. So I just shot my shot, and it took a while to kind of get through the interview process, just because content creation and that back and forth takes a while, but it was really easy, really straightforward, and um, just want to put my best foot forward. It's also another market. It's a big thing that I would tell any creator who is a professional who thinks that they don't necessarily want to be on a platform, or if there's, any hesitations they have about working for somebody else as opposed to working for themselves. It's a great chance to just expose yourself to an audience that doesn't know who you are. Because there's so many people that I
Hmm.
talk to all the time who say like, "Oh, I didn't know that GWA existed." And that to me is always a shock because that's where, I mean, probably 90, I have to imagine it's 90+% of all erotic audio listening happens is on that subreddit. I mean, I have audios on there alone, single audios that have 250,000 listens on one post, and not even like their lifetime. If you
Oh,
cross
wow.
them to, Quinn and Patreon and reposts and SFX versions, probably 500,000 in one audio, which is just numbers you wouldn't
Wow.
see on a single, and that's not an exception. That happens frequently. It's not a thing you'd see on other platforms. And I'm just
Mm,
one VA on there. And, Quinn represents
mm,
mostly male VAs, some femme VAs as well,
Mhm.
but mostly male VAs. But female VAs for
mhm.
men probably outstrip male VAs for women like 3 to 1 content engagement wise.
Wow.
I mean, they hit numbers that
Wow.
I couldn't even fathom, numbers that just don't
Wow.
even seem real for a male creator, especially these
Really?
days. It's a big gap, with some exceptions, of course. Some of the what I would call like golden age Reddit GWA male creators have like an amount of support that is unreal. But in
Hmm.
2025, 2024, it's a very different market. It's a very different environment, and it's interesting that so many people just don't know that it exists. It's daunting. I'll say that. It's uncurated and it is
It's
tricky to
tricky to
navigate. I
navigate.
mean, there are search resources that make it better. Um, but it is
Hmm.
daunting. If people, I know that there are people who are like, I don't know if I want to get into it, and then they do sink their teeth into it, and then like a week later they wake up, turn on the lights, and they go, "Where am I?" Because It is like an unlimited amount of content of whatever particular niche kink or mood you're in for.
And believe it or not, I will say this because there might be people listening who don't even know what
True.
GWA
Yeah.
stands for, which is Gone Wild
Yeah.
Audios on Reddit. So it is a whole community of
Yeah. And it's
people on
huge.
there.
Yeah. And a lot of VAs who don't even post there anymore, or maybe
Yeah.
took their platform down or went by a different name, who now are only Quinn VAs or only,
Mm.
there's a couple other new platforms now too that are cropping up, only work for those companies. They all at least knew what GWA was. Like if you were into audio content back in like 2020, 2021,
Mhm.
before these other places to engage with it started to crop up, you knew what it was.
It's a huge community.
I was one of these people that truly didn't know about GWA much until
Yeah.
getting into the space. Honestly, I had
Yeah.
no idea. I used to just go on Reddit to read Harry Potter fan fiction back in the day. So
The way God intended.
Yeah.
thank you. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had no idea that there were these amazing creators on there to begin with until recently.
And it is daunting, again, to reiterate for the thousandth time, even if it seems like too much. If there's someone listening to this who didn't know about it till this conversation and they're like, it can't be that bad. It is huge. I mean, they get hundreds of submissions a day, like hundreds of audio releases every day, all the time. Fridays, Mondays, and Saturdays being probably in the
Mm.
maybe in the thousands, like in a weekend.
Wow.
Do they all get approved by mods? Probably not. But anyone can post. So if anyone can post, there's a lot of content out there. And there's some that's going to be not great, and there's some that's going to be better than you've ever heard, and it's all for free, and it's all in between. I mean, it's on you to dig through it. But it's just like any fanfic website, if you want to find something good, you got to dig your heels in.
So a side question, just because I'm curious, how did you come up with Vel's Library as your moniker? Where did that come from?
Yes.
The library was just reference to audiobooks and wanting to do longer form content. I
Okay.
sort of thought and still do think that consistent narrative between audios and or just more drawn out plot driven content pieces is the direction that all erotic audio is headed in, with some
Hmm.
space for shorter audios. I think there always will be, but it's not a coincidence that when you look at the biggest audios on almost all platforms, GWA, Quinn, whatever, they're almost always 45-minute, in that ballpark to even an hour sometimes. I think the best of the best will be those longer form content pieces. Vel's Library was an attempt to kind of put myself there as an intentional point towards my content. And then Vel was just a moniker that I chose, just something simple. I knew that I wanted a shorter name because it's easier to remember. That's
Yeah.
it.
Just to go on from what you were saying, Val, about things being 45 minutes long. We've had discussions on previous episodes of this podcast of too long
Yeah.
is too much.
Mhm.
So, I think we have to also understand that it's not a storytelling. There's a lot of non-storytelling platforms out there where
Yeah.
you're just listening to get off. Let's put it frank.
Yeah, of course.
So, and we do the whole, we scroll the dial until it gets to the loud bits on the dial. If we're in a rush, of which there
Absolutely.
are. So what sort of where do you base that 45-minute and the longest things becoming more popular? Where do you base that from? From
Sure thing.
feedback or?
Partially from feedback, partially from data. I mean, we look at the biggest creators, that's what they're known for, is the longer pieces. But just from a content driven angle, when you look at the porn industry as a whole, you need to look at what each individual sector does really well. And I think the thing that audio erotica does the best, if you were open to all different types of porn and you were picking audio erotica for a particular reason, it would be, I think it's the best hybridization of longer form narrative driven sex pieces while still more or less getting to the point. You can listen to something with narrative, with introduction, with character, and get off under an hour, which with certain fanfics is not necessarily a guarantee. And if you're someone who is open to visual porn and audio porn and you just want to get off in 10, 15 minutes, there are audios for that, but that's definitely the strong suit of visual porn. Now, there are people who only ever want to listen to audio porn, so they're going to want their 10-minute snacks. They're going to want the hour-long pieces as well.
Yep.
But I think the reason we see all of the biggest, most successful audios being in that 30 to 45 range, sometimes longer. I mean, collabs can get up to an hour
Mhm.
pretty easily, is because that is the thing audio erotica does that other erotica doesn't do.
What to you then separates good audio erotica from great audio erotica?
I think it's different for everybody. I think anyone you ask who's into the space would probably tell you differently. It can be any number of like emotional feedback to things, but it's whatever makes you get hooked on something. And it's why so many audios are sink or swim in the first 7 minutes.
Mm.
You either need to establish a character that you want to spend the next 30 minutes with, or you need to establish a sex scene that you want to spend the next 10 minutes with. And that's really the difference maker. Yeah, I think it's about creating that hook and establishing in that first part of the audio, what is that hook? That's when the audio kind of makes its or sinks its teeth in, I would say.
Hmm. So like that seems like you don't strike me as someone like a project you would have turned down possibly would be something like as a wham bam thank you ma'am. That's not your lane. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, people ask for ramble faps all the time. It's like the number one thing I get requests for.
Mm.
And I that's just not what I'm strong suited for.
Yep.
And it's not something that I do a ton of. If I do them, I like them to have their own narrative hook.
Mm.
Even the ramble faps that I do, but just the one-off recorded on a Tuesday, see how things go. That's just not my angle.
It's not your thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
The way you keep talking about hooking people in is it's just so accurate. And when you teach you want to hook your audience in when you're writing. I used to teach English, and all I can think about now is like, do you get to choose your titles for your Quinn audios? Or because I know on
Mm.
Reddit you can,
Yeah.
because you hook people in with your titles immediately. That's one of the first things I noticed about you.
Yeah, I do. It's been a lot of back and forth on testing things. I do a lot of A/B testing very quietly that I have been called out on before.
Oh.
Especially some of the people who are active in the community and like are going through the old backlog. They can see these pockets of time where like consistent tags show up and consistent title conventions show up back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been called out on that a number of times. But yeah, I do my best to make sure that I'm always trying to capture someone with the title, whether that's tag placement, the title itself, the description, things like that. It's I learned my lesson early on making what I thought was one of my best audios of all time and then not tagging it or titling it well and then it just bombing and I went, well, I'm never going to do that again.
Oh wow.
I
Yeah.
am
Trial and error.
absolutely going to practice this. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you sort of went from doing something else, then you got into Gone Wild Audio, listening to it yourself, and becoming part of the audience. Then you became part of the creators network.
Mm-hmm.
So when you were just a listener and then you became a creator, what do you think the biggest misconceptions are about being a creator of audio erotica porn?
There are people who think it gets easier to listen to your own voice the more you do it. That's just not true. It never gets easier. I do think you get numb to it a little bit, but you can't get numb enough to where you're not listening anymore. That's really the thing. Like I'm not critical when I listen to my own voice anymore, luckily. Um, Buying a very, very expensive microphone and spending a lot of money on like post filters that really get rid of a lot of the background noise, the nonsense, and just clear everything up does help quite a bit. I think a lot of people's issues with their own voice come from bad vocal quality on the microphone. They're like, oh my God, I sound like that. You probably don't.
Hmm.
But microphones are only as good as the money you invest in them, and your iPhone's not doing the best job at selling you yourself. But yeah, it doesn't get easier. The editing process gets a little bit quicker, but like I still have to listen to my audios 2 to 3 times to make sure that they're good, to make sure that there's no hiccups, no blips. I mean, I pride myself on largely not sending out audios with any mistakes. Probably happens maybe 2 or 3 times a year, but for the amount of content that I put out, I mean, that's
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, it's a small percentage.
2% failure rate. Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
And the little blips will be like there'll be a click at the end of the audio that I forget to clip out where I get all the way to the end, I forget to fade out the click, and then I listen to it again and I forget to listen to the very last second because I'm like, oh, I finished it. And then I send it out and I'm like, ah, shit, I got 15 DMs that all say click at the end, click at the end, click at the end. And I'm
Real,
like, oh my
that's what I was
God.
gonna say. I'm like, you're the only one who notices that, but people DM you about that?
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
it's because your shit is so good that any little thing that's off, they're gonna be like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hey God.
I get DMs about like typos in like YouTube algorithm tagging.
Stop it
Like
right
I
now.
get, yeah. Well, I have a big audience, so it's a
Yeah.
Yep,
percentage
you
based
do.
thing. But yeah, I if I make a mistake, I learn about it very, very, very quickly.
Because they care. We'll
Right.
say
Yeah.
they're not
Yeah,
assholes. They
yeah,
care.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Um,
The boundaries you had at the beginning, have they remained the same that you
Yeah.
have now with regards to what you do, what content you release, what subject matters you won't delve into and won't do?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say I've maybe loosened up a little bit on some things, but I came in pretty ironclad on most of my boundaries. I knew I wanted to take it more seriously than some other VAs do, especially the amateur VAs. A lot of them just get into it because they like making porn and it's fun. And I think that's great. And they want to do the role play stuff. They want to do the DM stuff. I never did. I wanted to do content creation. I wanted to make porn. I wanted to have an impact in the community that gave back to me. And I wanted to practice. I wanted to get better at what I was doing. And I knew that engaging in those kinds of things is what, tanks people's careers. It's what makes people kind of burn out and fade out, and it makes things messy. So I knew that I didn't want to do those things, and I didn't. I would say content wise, there were a lot of things that I thought I would never do. I never thought I would do a ramble fap. I never, ever, ever saw myself doing M sub. Largely, I've kept true to that one, but uh, it's just kind of opening up a little bit more. I didn't think I'd have a community either, like a Discord community. That felt very dangerous. It is, to be clear, but there are right ways to do it, and I think I've found the right way to do it. There's always going to be difficulty when you have, thousands of people in one space. It's
yeah.
impossible to get everyone to agree on things. So just having good moderation and having, clearly defined rules and spaces for everybody to feel welcome in some place was really important to me. And it is good to have a good active community. So that's that's probably been the thing I've pushed back on at the beginning the most, and then kind of ended up accepting the most on this side of things. But I also am not very active in my own Discord. I am, but mostly to just like drop thirst traps and bother people.
It
The
doesn't bother
moderation
people.
and
It's definitely not a bother.
the moderation of the space is done by people that I pay, that they have a monthly salary that has been going up recently, which has been great. But it lets me.
Can we discuss that? I'd like to discuss that because you're talking to two people who are moderators on this call, both for different VAs. No, I'm only joking.
Yeah.
Look, we took the role on as voluntary, and we wouldn't do it if we didn't want to do it. But the fact that you do is, I think it's great. Why not?
Yeah, I wanted to make sure everyone who contributed to me making money made money. It's partially because I do view it as a business, and I want to make sure that I'm never exploiting someone else for their labor, because there's so much of that in this space. Quinn script writers, I try to pay above rate. That's difficult. Quinn pays pretty well, but a lot of GWA people I pay for private script fills. They'll come to me and they're like, "Oh, I've never been paid before." I'm like, that's fucking crazy. And when I hired my moderators on, I wasn't paying more than, $25 a month. But back then the Discord was 75 people. And it was mostly just like, hey, if I'm asleep and you see someone saying some awful shit, just delete the message. I'm not asking you to be vigilant 24/7, but just if you see something, say something, and just be a hall monitor, more or less.
Yep.
Now that there's 800 people on any given day, a lot of them lurkers, to be fair, but still a lot of fucking people. Pay has gone up accordingly with the burden of work, so.
Your mods do a fantastic job, I will say. They really do a great job.
Yeah.
And your Discord community, the way that they've set it up, I don't know who set it up, but it's like
I can take about 0% of the credit for that one.
Jesus, then your mod, like Just the automation in it, the use of bots, the like all of the things that I've never seen anything like it. Like it's
Same.
Yeah, I'll call out my head moderator, Talia. She
yeah.
is really
Who's
great at programming, really amazing script writer, the most successful script on GWA history, actually.
really
Um,
Oh,
Many of
wow.
the best. Yeah,
cool.
she posted that, did incredibly well. But she's my head mod, and she made a much larger percentage of the Discord than I think I could even quantify. Um, and almost all of it entirely with guidance that I would akin to a toddler writing with a crayon on the wall, me going, I don't know, I think it'd be cool if like this happened. And she goes, okay, man, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So with
Oh,
about as little help as I could possibly offer while getting an idea off the ground, she kind of runs with it and does the rest of it.
she's
She's
unbelievable.
wonderful. She did a great job.
Yeah. And you have a really diverse population in there. Like from tons of
Yes.
professions, sexual orientation, gender identity, race. Like,
Yes.
what do you think
hmm
it is about your work and your community that makes it such a safe and welcoming place for everyone?
I think part of it is my boundaries.
Mm,
Um, there are a lot of people who filter in and then filter out pretty much on day one. You know, they come in because they want to see more of me and they think it's a pathway to get personal connection with me. They see that it's not, and then they leave and they don't come back. We see
mhm,
that quite a lot. I get a lot of DMs from people who join the server day one, DM me privately. My DMs are closed. I don't answer them,
mhm,
and then they never talk in the server again. But the people who do stick around, even if they do come there originally for that, for connection to me, content, access, stuff like that,
mhm,
they see a really vibrant community, a really active community. As far as the diversity of people, I've always tried to make sure my content was open to anybody who wanted to listen. Unless
mhm.
the audio is explicitly stated in a certain way, it is never mentioning any body features, any descriptor that could put somebody off. So I think it lets people get themselves in that mindset. I think
Yeah.
as far as the diversity of gender identity, that's been the thing that surprised me kind of the most because I've almost always exclusively made content for women,
Mhm,
or at least I'm identifying individuals.
mhm,
And there has been an uptick recently in male listeners. There's always been a male population, but especially in the past probably 6 months, there's been a pretty sizable uptick, despite the fact that I don't publicly post M4M anywhere.
yeah.
I don't know what to put that to. Probably, I would say it's a side effect of my success on some of the darker platforms
Mhm,
that I don't talk about too much, but I do post to darker subreddits occasionally. And I think that content sometimes transcends gender identity.
mhm.
People who want those
Yeah.
particular kinks
Yep.
Yeah.
maybe are deprived of it in male spaces because the male for male space is much smaller
Yeah.
proportionally. So they might be more willing to move into M for F content and just sort of, you know, cognitively disassociate from the certain feminine leaning parts of things.
Mhm,
That's kind of been my guess recently. I don't have an
yeah.
explanation for that, but
Yeah.
the work of the mods, making sure everyone's included, automation, and just keeping it safe for the listener. It's
Yeah.
not a safe space for me. It's not a safe space for role play or anything else like that. It's a safe space for a listener to be a listener and to just talk to people about what they like and get into their hobbies. We do have rules, obviously, about certain topics can't be talked about just because it is a representation of me. I would hate to be the server where, it's known people are talking about things that are bad or anything like that. But aside from that, I mostly just leave it to the mods to make sure that everyone's hanging out properly and
Mhm.
being kind to one another.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah,
Great.
you're a great guy, Val. Let me just say. And I mean, well, because this just reminds me why so many people in your community feel so safe there is because your inclusivity in your audios is amazing, and like we were just touching on a little bit. And I mean, your body positivity, and sometimes I see tags sometimes in some of your audios I've never seen before, things like body hair appreciation, things like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm very curious, what kind of motivated you to focus so much on celebrating, just people of all sizes, shapes, hair, no hair. It's
Yeah.
beautiful, truly.
Uh, there's a couple different answers to this. So I'll start with the PC which is everyone deserves to be appreciated. And I think a lot of people say that everyone is beautiful and they mean it to varying degrees of sincerity. I just kind of have this fascination with people's views of themselves, of their own identity and their own sexuality, and like how those are intertwined. And then from a more depraved side of things, I just think it's really cool seeing the different reactions and the different um, body types and the in real life, like everyone's beautiful for reasons that are both pure and like everyone deserves to feel pretty. And then it's also like I think it'd be really cool to see someone come like that. And
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of both that pushes that through to audios. Is
Mhm.
it's everyone deserves to feel that way, and then also in a depraved sense, do I derive joy in that. So
Yeah.
it is a thing that pushes me to make content. If there's a niche that someone tells me about, they're like, "Oh, I've never been appreciated for this before." It makes me want to do it for good and bad
Yeah.
reasons.
Well, I would define it as good and good, but okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's fine.
yeah, yeah.
Let's
Fair
be
enough.
let's be honest.
It sounds like you've always got a lot going on, Vel. Sounds like you're a very busy boy.
Yeah.
Does that sort of, were you always able to, juggle everything and balance everything? Because it must be pretty crazy in your world.
Yeah. Um, it's always been a skill of mine, partially from forced necessity. I grew up in a weird environment that just kind of required me to always be on my toes. That translated into my professional career, which was just breakneck. I mean, the industry that I was in, wasn't uncommon to work 65, 70 hours a week before commutes. So translating that to making audio, I just think I have a harder work ethic than a lot of people would expect of someone who is kind of self-made in that way, where, oh, you have unlimited free time off. It's like, yeah, but I'm just not wired that way. I'm just not. If I
Mm,
have the downtime and I'm excited about something, I want to do it.
So what's been
yeah.
the sort of most rewarding part so far for you of becoming an audio creator?
Probably the community and seeing the responses on things. I do get gratification from seeing success. I mean, I'm no stranger to bigger number, better person. That's definitely a part of things.
Hmm.
But seeing the community respond positively to work and getting reactions of, oh, I love this. I felt, so and so about this in a public platform has been incredible. Being able to pay my bills and get out of the toxicity that I was in is a
Mm,
thing that I don't talk about very often.
hmm.
Because I'm in a privileged position and I didn't get here from not busting my ass. So it's not like it was just
Yeah.
granted to me, but I am in a privileged position where I get to work from home and I get to, work the hours that I want to work and I can kind of cover myself. I'm not drowning in cash, but I have enough to like be happy and not stress about things and not be destitute. And
Yeah.
now I don't work, 65 hours for somebody else anymore.
If for some reason, which is not going to happen, but if this were to all go away and you weren't doing this anymore, what would you do instead, do you think, if you pivoted?
Oh, it's an interesting question. Uh, a long time ago, I would have said get back into restaurants because I am convinced I could fix them. But I think I've matured enough to know that I just don't think that industry is healthy for anybody.
Yeah.
Um, these days, I don't know. I go back and forth on it. Probably a labor-based thing that's got good benefits, really is what it comes down to. I think being a firefighter would probably be a next step, genuinely. I like being physical. I like using my body for things. It's why I like
Mm-hmm.
going to the gym. It's like why I like working out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a job that really rewards that and is good for the community, good for the environment. Um,
And there's also
and
an audio in there somewhere.
yeah, there is an audio in there somewhere.
Hell yeah.
Uh, I think there's few ways to earn a more honest living than being a firefighter. So
I mean, I was gonna say you had to come be, the head maitre d at the bar. Smudge opens just the tipple, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. You know?
good call. Good call.
Good
It's
callback.
it
Nice.
could happen. It could happen.
Hey, it's a really great name.
So we had some of your community members send in some questions.
Oh, cool.
And they were very excited because we let them like record them so we could play them for you.
Oh, awesome.
I'm gonna play one now. It's cool. I'm gonna play one now.
How have you found scaling your fan base when you expanded into Quinn and Reddit are very different offerings? Um, did you struggle or was it smooth sailing for you?
Oh, it's a good question. I think a lot of people who are familiar with me already will know this if they follow me on GWA especially, but I do make darker content. and I am more known for the darker, kind of condescending, sweet degradation stuff on the Reddit side of things than I am on Quinn, certainly. And I think those two audiences both view me very differently. I think on
Oh.
Quinn, I'm viewed as a lot softer, which is somewhat intentional, I think, because if my mind goes, oh, I kind of want to do degradation as an audio, I just file that away as not a Quinn thing. And it ends up on Reddit or Patreon or somewhere else. Whereas other creators who are only Quinn, if they think, oh, I think I want to do degradation today, of course it's going to go on Quinn. They're just going to filter it and kind of shape the idea to go on Quinn. So just subconsciously, I have created two different fan bases that both view me a little bit differently. I think Reddit and Quinn, I've sort of accidentally split the base on, and I am working on fixing that. Especially on the Reddit side of things, because my platform is so much bigger over there. I want to make sure that my image is a little bit better maintained. But I kind of like my presence on Quinn right now. I could definitely do more degradation on there if I wanted to, but I don't know that I do want to. So I don't know.
I will put my vote in, but in the meantime, I'm off to Reddit.
All right, next question is from Nicolio.
Hey Val, this is Nicolio. One of the things that I find really remarkable about your work is your ability to code switch. I've heard that you can code switch between multiple voices or accents within even just a sentence. Did you have any professional training? And how long did it take for you to master that skill?
Yeah, I can switch accents on a dime.
Yes, you can.
That is half learned skill, half just upbringing. I mentioned it earlier, but I grew up with all polyglots. Polyglot is, I forget the exact definition, but I think it's more than 5 languages or more than 7 languages. Regardless, almost everyone in the family that I grew up with can speak around 7 to 10 languages.
What?
I grew up with a lot of accents in the household.
Wow.
I also picked up so little of any of those languages because turns out when you hear like 15 of them, you absorb none of them. But I learned how to do accents really, really young because that was kind of just the environment I grew up in. And then as far as practice goes, there is absolutely things you can do to code switch more easily. So if my natural speaking voice is what I would call middle chest, or I'm just kind of sitting naturally and easy. If I want to do country accent and I want to like get into the mindset of it and I need to be able to switch back and forth very quickly, I'll put my chest up a little bit, tilt the chin up, and it just tells my brain and the palette that I'm using to make those sounds to just behave a little bit differently. And it's arbitrary. I could flip that if I wanted to, or if I practiced it. I guess at this point it's kind of sunk in. But it is a cool trick to switch them.
It's a skill. It's not a
tough.
trick. It's a skill to do accent.
real
This is from somebody who can't do a single one.
Yeah.
I struggle with British, and I am British. So it's an absolute skill. I'm in awe of anybody that can tell a joke and it's an Irish accent and they need to do an Irish accent or a New York. I'm in awe. This joke sounds better.
I learned this voice that I'm using right now. This is not the natural. I guess this is a surprise for anyone who's listening who doesn't know this. This is not my natural speaking voice. I do speak like this throughout my day, but this was a learned accent. My actual accent is what I would affectionately call hick. Very, very, very southern to the point of not saying enough words to be intelligible unless you're from there. Country accent. I mean, the Texas accent is like what I blew up for probably 2 years ago now. It's just real deep. And it comes from a place of me practicing all it and trying to fit in when I was down there. And it is close to my native accent, but not exactly there. Close enough that it doesn't take a lot to practice it. And I can switch back and forth between that and this real easy, and it doesn't take any time at all.
Oh my God.
Uh,
Do you do the thing where you travel around and you can literally go into like any state in America or any country and you just hit the accent? You just put the accent on and pretend you're from there.
I don't do it intentionally, but I will pick up words, especially. I try to be polite about accents and not like try to mimic them, but vernacular and local dialect, yeah, absolutely. Unintentionally.
It's rude. It's rude, isn't it, Val? Because, I'm
Go ahead, Smudge.
Here we
You were
go.
nice.
these two are constantly taking the Michael out of my accent, and they mock me for it endlessly.
I listened to a couple of your audios recently where it was New York was your accent.
Yes, yeah.
And I appreciated it so much because it wasn't overdone, so it was like a really good New York accent because when you listen to someone trying to do a New York accent, it's like I'm from the Boston area. When someone tries to do Boston who sucks at it, it's painful to my ears.
Yeah.
But your New York accent, I'm like, this is someone who can literally do the act. Like you sound like you're from New York, not pretending to be.
Yeah, it's just
I don't
something I
like
grew up with. A lot of my family members lived in New York. I mean, most of my mom's side of my family actually lived there invariably for some amount of time. So I grew up with it.
All right, next question is from Erin.
Hi, Vel. It's Erin. You spend a lot of time as Vel in your immersive audios and your growing community. But how alike is Vel to your real self? And is it difficult to drop the character at the end of the day and just be you?
Great question.
Mhm.
It was definitely a lot harder when I was Vel and then also me in real life. That was tough because I had a job that I was working where nobody could know about Vel. It wasn't like I accidentally used the wrong name. Haha, isn't that all funny, guys? It was like a very, very vitally important for my well-being that it did not ever leave my lips. Nowadays, I would say I only struggle with disconnecting sometimes. When Velda persona is doing bad, it really affects me, the human being behind the scenes, more than it used to. Because in the past, it was like, oh, I've got this job. I have all these other things going on in my life. If Vel's doing bad, that's okay. I've got other stuff going on. Nowadays, Vel's all I got going on. So when Vel's doing bad, it definitely reflects more on me. And it can make it difficult to disconnect.
Yeah, I imagine you can probably lose yourself in Vel
Very much.
pretty easily.
Yeah, very easily.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So next one is from Amanda. We have 2 more to go.
Hi, my name's Amanda, and my question is for Vel. If you could bottle your voice, what flavor would you be and why?
That's cool. I don't know. It's a good question. It's got to be something a little bit spicy, probably.
Mhm.
Not only for the audio creator, but also like the Deep South thing. What would not get me laughed at if someone from back home found out? Let's say, is root beer a hick thing? Is root beer a thing that's had around the world?
Sarsaparilla.
It
I don't know.
Sarsaparilla,
Yeah.
Root beer is not a thing in the UK. Just not.
Okay, all right. That's probably a rough answer then. Iron Brew. Shout out
Iron
UK
Brew.
people. Fuck it. I'll say root beer. I don't know. I grew up on it.
I like that.
It's good. It's spicy.
Yeah.
Earthy. Whatever. It's a cool question. I like that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, root beer. Okay, cool.
Good one. I
And
thought we were going to
finally
go with
we
White Zinfandel, but
Oh,
I could
Jesus.
get on the wine thing forever.
All right, finally, question from Kylie.
Hi, Vel. It's Kylie. You are known for your accents, and you do several different ones, all of them very well done. I was wondering if there's an accent that you have not tried that maybe you were thinking about, and what that accent might be.
I generally do shy away from doing accents until I'm relatively confident in them. I will say I've done a generalized UK accent before because it was requested. And that's been one that people were okay with it. I think it's different when you do a UK accent because there's so many different places in the UK that like, unless you've lived there, I don't think it's possible to do a perfect accent from a particular town and region in the UK, just because it is so town by town. I mean, it's very similar to the places where I grew up, where it's like somebody from, 50 miles from where I grew up could easily go, oh, you're from this town. I met someone from that town 10 years ago. That's where you're from. But for someone outside of that 50-mile radius, they would never be able to tell. But if someone did a rough Appalachian accent, I would go, oh, okay, it's an Appalachian accent. I wouldn't necessarily be too critical. But English isn't one that I've done much with. I would be open to it if it was requested of me, but I don't think it's one that I'm going to do too frequently. But the one I've been working on is French. I've been speaking with an Alsatian person that I met in real life in French and trying to pick up a lot of the tonal nuance in their language and stop having just a generalized Parisian French accent, because it is incredibly hard. Like it doesn't sound natural unless you're perfect at it, and even then, it doesn't sound great. I've been talking with someone from Alsace and trying to kind of learn how they structure their French, and it's been fun feeling the Germanic influences in the French language and the way they structure and the way they just assign weight to different words. It's French words, but with like the German punctual, like syllabic hitting in every sentence that I've been working on and practicing. And it's funny because I've done a couple voice notes in the Discord that I have done in the Alsatian accent in the past few months, which has been well received. And there is actually someone in the Discord who's from Alsace, and they had like a freak out moment where they were like, "Is this an Alsatian accent?" Very like in a passing comment, and I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to be like, "Thanks, I've been practicing," but internally I was like, "I fucking nailed it."
Yes.
Someone from there fucking called it.
I have to say, Vel, like I am so impressed by your commitment to your craft. Like
Yeah.
truly, like
Thank you.
like just the time that you spend and the studying that you do and the practicing that you do and just the, the focusing on the intonations and the dialects and it's really incredible. Like this isn't just a job for you or even just something that's fun. Like this is a real craft that you are honing every
Yeah,
day. It's so impressive.
absolutely. I answered earlier, I would want to do community service of some kind if I got out of this business, but I don't think I would get out of this
And this
business.
might be a real stretch, although I don't think it is. Like while it's not firefighting,
Yeah.
the work you do is a community service. I mean, it really is.
Sure, yeah. Just a much larger community than I think I could have
Yeah,
ever predicted in my
yeah.
life.
And like we say to all creators when we talk to them on here, like the impact that your work has on women, because that's what we focus on here, is astounding. And
Yeah.
we always hope that you guys know that it's not firefighting, but it's serving an incredible purpose in the empowerment of women, in permission to own our desires and sexuality, to celebrate each other's kinks, rather than judge.
And
So
also, we wouldn't have been
it's
doing this
fucking awesome.
podcast without it. So simple as
Yeah.
that. So you wouldn't
100%.
have been interviewed on our podcast if it wasn't for audio erotica.
Yeah.
So
It's an ecosystem. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Not to mention your intelligence is sexy as fuck.
Thank you.
Jesus Christ.
And I didn't even have to rant about wine.
exactly. And Kazza is only in awe about your dedication and everything, because she spends about 10 minutes prepping for every episode. So that's about her limit, really.
You whore. That is so not true.
Anyway, Vel, I want to ask a question. Do you have any questions for your listeners? I mean, there's 3 sitting right here, but do you have any questions that you would want to ask your listeners?
Oh, that's a great question. I will take this chance to instead flip this question around a little bit and say, I have actually been more quiet in the past 6 months about taking listener feedback because I am working on something that I cannot talk about.
Ooh.
So I haven't done any demographic stuff. I haven't done any what should I be aware of? What should I keep my eye out for? Because I've got a thing that I'm working on that I just kind of have to take my shot on. And it is already rolling downhill at a speed where I don't think I can stop it anymore. So we're just going to see how it goes. And then once that's come out, we can take a big community breath and I can have a dialogue about what should I do differently? What should what are people interested in lately? But until that comes out, I think I have to just stay the course and I have to
Wow.
That is such a tease.
keep working on
very
the thing that I'm working on.
switchy,
Yeah,
very
I hate
switchy,
to turn that question
I
around.
mean, you could have
but
just asked us what our favorite colors were. I mean, come on.
yeah, that's true. It would have been disingenuous.
Oh, but now
I
I
wanna give
want
a
to know what
reason,
you're
so.
working on. You're gonna
So
It'll-
cruel. It's just
how long?
It'll be announced before the end of the year for sure.
I fucking hate edging.
But
I
almost
hate
ambitious.
edging, and we all know it.
Well, I was gonna say this is no. Jules hates edging. Like this is edging. So we want to wrap up with a question that we ask all of our guests. It's always interesting to get a perspective, which is, how do you define sexual freedom?
Ooh. Great question. I define it as the willingness, both from a larger community and inside oneself, to accept what you're into. So to feel acceptance internally about what you are into and what you're excited about and what drives you to engage with yourself sexually, and then also to be able to find that in a place that is safe. I think those are the two sides of sexual freedom, and it's one of the reasons I've wanted my community to be so resoundingly open, and also why I do try to make as freeing of an audio as I can every time I do it without shame, without, I mean, unless you're into that, of course.
I don't know why everybody looked
without,
at me when that said.
I totally did look at you, Smudgy. Yep.
without
Smudge.
unburdened shame, I'll say. But yeah, I think it's an openness and willingness both internally and in a larger community.
Fabulous.
Nailed it, yes.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much, Val.
Well, thanks, Val. Oh my God.
Thank you for having me.
I'll literally talk to you forever. Yes. So
It was a
interesting.
good conversation. It was really cool.
Good. Glad you liked it. Well, thank you so much for joining the Hit the Spotlight studios here on QuinnCast.
And we're very excited to hear about what's coming up at the end of the year. And obviously, if you want to come back on the show and tell us exclusively through QuinnCast, then absolutely, we're open to negotiation.
I'll tell everybody once it's out. Believe me.
Okay, good.
I'll be shouting it from the fucking rooftops. I'll take out a billboard in some cities. We'll see.
No, oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Val.
Thanks,
Thank you for
Val.
having me. Thank you.
That was such a good convo.
That was such a great convo. Love him. Like he's like very dedicated, isn't he, to his craft? Love it.
He's so dedicated to his craft. Like it's impressive. And it is, like, for me as a business owner, it's refreshing to hear him treat it like a fucking business because it is.
It is, absolutely.
It's a business.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also,
Yeah.
he has stuck up for me, and you two are no longer allowed to take the piss out of me because of my accent. Simple. See?
We can still take the piss out of you for White Sin, though.
God, the accents, guys, the way when he slipped, careful, into the voice he said is not his natural one, but when he went into that accent so seamlessly.
I know.
It was wild. Like, he really dedicates a lot of time to it. And then on top of all that learning, cranking out audios like one every other day.
I mean, left, right, and center.
Like, it's nuts.
Yeah, he's somebody that will never give 80% to his craft.
Yeah.
He is going to give that 200%.
I mean, what was 500 and something an audio every two? Jesus Christ! I mean, his his right arm and left arm's a lot bigger than the other one. I'm just saying.
He's probably ambidextrous too.
He probably is. So, Jesus Christ!
You know, right? Now that was fantastic.
Wow!
Thanks, Val, for coming to QuinnCast.
Really?
Careful. It was such a good conversation.
Such an amazing time.
Onwards and upwards to the next one.
Onwards and upwards. So to whomever's next, we're not telling. Thank you for listening to QuinnCast, Cliticins. Please do your thing. Rate us, comment, review, share, all the things. The more people we can have involved in the conversation, because we are inclusive here at QuinnCast, the better. So on your favorite podcast platforms, shout it from the rooftops. I don't give a shit. Just tell people about us.
Hell yeah.
But for now, this has been Kaza, and your voice matters.
This has been Jules. Go put those lips to good use.
And this has been Smudge. Keep wanking.